So I rearranged the guest bedroom, and now I'm plagued with a very particular problem. I need to do something with this space between the wall and the bed. It needs to be positioned away from the wall because it's a queen mattress, and if I have it any closer, the door smacks into the bed frame. So we need to put a headboard here. I was pricing some headboards. $236? Get out of here. So I'm a poor, and I'm going to build my own. Let's get into it. So I've got the bed in a good position away from the walls, and I'm going to take some measurements. So we're looking at roughly 7 inches away from the wall, and then we're going to measure the width of the bed frame. And there are little holes on the bed frame, so if we do want to attach the headboard, we can do that. So take a look. The bed frame is actually about 12 inches off the ground, but we want the headboard to extend above the mattress. So we're looking at about 34 inches or so. So I went ahead and I drew up this very intricate and detailed plan. We're going to go 54 inches wide. That way the door can still swing and not hit the actual headboard. We've got the width and the height of the headboard. So I went into the garage and I grabbed some scrap lumber. We're going to start making some cuts. The standard dimensions for a queen-sized headboard is usually 60 to 64 inches wide by 28 to 48 inches high. Those are the standards off Google. So we're looking at boards that can, roughly make those lengths possible. Then we're going to cut them down. All this wood is pressure-treated pine, 2x6s. I think it was used as a decking project. Hot tip. You can find people that are, either getting rid of lumber or tearing down projects for free on Facebook Marketplace. So you just wait for that to come up and then you haul away the old lumber. And then you can use it for projects around your place. So I'm trying to plan my cuts around the bad spots on the board, like those junk ends. I'm going to try to chop those off and then save the decent looking wood for the actual project. So just do a little inspection for cracks, tears, knots, and try to cut your wood in a way that gets rid of that. I'm using a speed square and a tape measure, and we're just gonna zip it off with my circular saw. I got a 7.5-inch circular saw with a rough cutting blade. I like to pull the guard back just so it's out of the way, makes entrance to the wood easy. Watch your fingers and everything. Pull the trigger, and then there is a guide on the front of the saw that shows where the blade hits, and then you can just follow that guide. You want to be mindful that you're not cutting anything underneath the board, and watch for kickback. I'll be using these 3-inch interior construction screws that I found for Walmart on sale. There's another hot tip. I like to check the discount aisle at Walmart, and sometimes you may find tools or related hardware items on sale. I like to use a drill bit that's a little bit smaller than the screws I'm using to pre-drill the holes so my wood doesn't crack. Make sure your drilling is square and level as possible. You want the pieces to fit flush together, so that's an important step. So remember, my particular project, the width was approximately 54 inches and the height was 34 inches. We've cut those 3 boards and now we're just connecting them together. Here's my assembled 2x6 frame. I put 2 decking screws in each side. Next, I thought about creating a storage space. Afterwards, I changed my mind, but we are still going to use like a vanity board to make it look nice. So I measured the inner dimensions of both legs, and we're going to cut a board to fit on the inside. I like giving my wooden projects a distressed look. Plus, it takes away some of the imperfections and some of the other garbage. So I'm going to use a angle grinder with like an 80 grit sanding disc. Then I'm just going to sand off all the imperfections, the rough edges, a lot of the discoloration, any mold or knots or any other stuff. We're just going to tear that all off down to the base wood. Next, I'm going to position the framework on a level working surface. My garage floor works fine. I'm going to pre-drill the holes, and then I'm going to attach that secondary board with the decking screws. I used 2 on each side, so a total of 8. Next, I'm going to go ahead and distress the rest of the headboard because I like the way that looks. It'll, smooth the edges so there's no scratchy parts, get rid of any splintered ends, and I think it just looks better. Now that I've taken off all the sharp edges, the wood's pretty smooth. It looks like it's in decent shape. You can go ahead and throw it in the bedroom as is right now, but I'm going to stain it. I picked up some Rust-Oleum stain and polyurethane on sale. It's ebony colored, so it's a dark, almost black. It still has the wood grain after it's dried. You can see some of the wood grain. I think it looks nice. It goes with a darker decor. Like I said, it's almost black, so it pairs well with a lot of other pieces of furniture or pretty complementary color schemes. I usually put on one thick coat and let it sit overnight. Obviously, it's decent weather outside, so it dries and creates a pretty good finish. So the final price on this project, probably about 20 bucks. Now I did source free materials and materials that were on sale, but doing this project myself saved me about $200. Speaking of which, I have Amazon links down in the description to save money on tools or other building supplies, so use those links. I'd like your feedback. What do you think? Any other questions or comments, go ahead and throw it down below. I really appreciate it. Thanks.